Friends, in a particular way today, we're going to keep Father Otis in our prayers. He's the Mass intention for today, but today is also the anniversary of his priestly ordination. So in particular, we're going to keep him in prayer today as he continues his recovery. It's great to be back with you. And one thing I'd like us to reflect on very briefly today is something I keep hearing from people as we're kind of on the upswing out of this COVID thing. Everyone keeps saying, when are we going to be back to normal, right? I keep hearing that. When are we going to have normality? When are we going to be back to normal? And there's this almost haste that we're in to get back to normal. And my suggestion, why is that, right? It's because with this lack of normalcy, there comes a lot of uncertainty. It changes the way we do things. It demands certain things of us that make us very uncomfortable. And it's not a nice place to be. Spiritually, as a congregation, when we have limits put on us, that's not a nice place to be. In our public action, it's not nice when we're limited about where we can go and what we can do. It makes us uncomfortable because we have been limited. So we're yearning for this normalcy. But I'd suggest to you, friends, that we have just, as you know, we finished with Pentecost and Easter season. We've now come into the ordinary time. I would encourage each and every one of us, though, to be very attentive in our unending prayer for normalcy, not to make that also subconsciously a prayer for complacency and mediocrity, because God is still at work. And in many cases, some people suggest bringing about a new normal, right? Well, what does that look like for you? We heard in that first reading, did we not, from who? Our patron, St. Peter. And it said, beloved, wait for and hasten, right? Not mediocre. Hasten the coming of the day of our Lord and God, because of which the heavens and the earth will be dissolved in flames and the elements melted by fire. But, according to his promise, we await a new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. You see, friends, any time God chastens us or gives us trials or tribulations, it's not punitive in the sense that we think of it in a legalistic, worldly sense. He's always bringing about our good, restoring us, fulfilling us, what we were created to be. I challenge you and I suggest you as a parish community that as these doors are starting to widen open, right, as we go into this summertime, as those restrictions get lifted and we get back to our worship here as a faith community, that you would treat ordinary time as an extraordinary time. A time for us as a parish to come back together, to embrace what might be a new normal, and to recognize that that spirit of Pentecost continues to work 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, friends. It is uncomfortable. It has been uncomfortable. And my hearts go out to so many of you who maybe for months where you've been hungering and thirsting for the Eucharist in a way that you never imagined you would in this life. But guess what? You're home now. And this is your home. And the Lord, who has guided us through this time, is here to welcome us into a new normal, a time when we're called to be not just mediocre and going through the motions, but to be the extraordinary Christians that we're called to be, and especially here in this parish, the ways in which you have always throughout the years and will continue to live out your faith in an extraordinary way.